Avasarai Bhante, we have received 7 reports today. Report number 1, Venerable Bhante, walking meditation. Felt quite relaxed and concentrated on the sensations on my feet. At one point, when I stopped at the end of the path, I felt and saw the body as a skeleton. This image kept coming and going throughout the walking meditation. Then,
sorry, can you repeat the last sentence?
This image kept coming and going throughout the walking meditation.
Right.
So then the seated meditation. Shall I go through? Or?
Sure.
Okay. Seated meditation. Breath was quite subtle and body felt very relaxed. Outside sounds faded away. However, as I kept watching to see if I was falling asleep or not, as I continued to feel the breeze on my face, which confirmed to me that I was indeed awake, but fully relaxed. Daily activities. Managed to be mindful most of the time, but got a little greedy when I saw the brownie for dessert. Deliberately, I cut a piece into half and served myself. Later, I thought I should not have taken it at all. That's all.
Not bad. Anyway, the only thing that I thought of commenting is on the skeleton part, that you are getting time to time kind of a feeling of. May I know who has written it? Yeah. Can you pass the mic? Yeah. So, what happened, like when you are walking, you feel that the skeleton is walking, or you feel a kind of visualization of the skeleton? What happened?
When I actually stopped at the end of the path,
right.
That is when I guess I saw the body as a skeleton, but not a very firm one, just sort of in passing. And I reflected on that. I kept watching that,
right,
and then continued the walking.
Okay. By the way, as far as I can remember, you were able to maintain a mind without an object. Am I correct? Okay. Then in such case, no need to give even a skeleton as an object. Because the idea is, as much as possible, keep the mind entirely relaxed without an object, so that it has no object at all, and no establishment in the sense there is no footing for the consciousness. So as much as possible, without any object, without grasping, without a footing, but completely relaxed, fully aware, fully awake, but there is no even object. So, time to time, these, different objects can happen by themselves, in the sense, even though our objective is to maintain the mind completely relaxed without an object, but still, due to the internal influxes, say defilements, time to time mind go and grab something. So then only we need to practice simply abandoning it, letting it go, so that again it become relaxed. So therefore, these things even we don't need to give much emphasis now, because these are possible, definitely. Once we are looking at the body, probably our concentration could be able to penetrate the skin and even see the sort of skeleton, but not necessary. Again, we are finding something, no? So something is there. Something is not the point now we are going through. Rather, nothing is there, basically. Almost like nothing is there. Almost like the emptiness or nothingness. That is where we are trying to focus on.
Yes. So Bhante, when I saw, when that image or sanya came to mind, or when I saw it, I just let it be. But it just maybe because I was.
You have given some value to it.
I have given some value.
You have given some value to it.
Yes.
So basically, the mind has to be fully like a kind of transparent glass. Assume that your consciousness is something like a glass, a transparent glass. Say you are wearing a spectacle, and what do you prefer? Do you need to have a stain on your glass? Do you want to have a kind of a patch in your glass? You want to have a smoke in your glass? Or do you want to have a completely transparent glass? Third is the option. So we have to have a transparent glass. So our consciousness is something like that. So when name and form is present, so that is very much like a smoggy glass. When name and form is present, it is very much like with a scar, kind of a stain. in the glass. So our duty is to simply erase it so that we are keeping the transparency of the glass, of the consciousness, where the mind is fully luminous, fully transparent. I mean, you can see through. There is no smoggy, any cloudy something, but everything is full aware. That awareness also has to be not restricted to a particular object. Rather, it's a kind of a pervaded awareness. Pure awareness, we can say. Yeah.
Report number 2. Dear Bhante, I was not light-headed when I started the retreat. However, I practiced from the guided meditation onwards and followed accordingly. Mindfulness at all times and noble silence. My mind started getting collected and it was easy to focus without getting distracted. During walking meditation, I focused on every and subtle details on lifting, taking forward, bending and pressing towards the ground or foot very mindfully. At first I found my thoughts drifting. I kept on watching thoughts. It faded away and the whole world drifted away from mind and it was focused on walking. Sitting meditation. I brought my attention to the posture and little details of the clothes touching the body and brought my mind subtly to inhale and exhale. Little by little, like a lake freeing from ripples, it went tranquil and rested there for about half an hour. After that, whenever I sit and be still, it's not difficult to reach tranquility. However, with a settled mind, I focused on what was troubling me initially at the start. Since I kept a close watch on thoughts that arise and passes, it was anger and mind had been accumulating thoughts to fight back a conversation of a person who has told me what a foolish effort it's to meditate rather than enjoying life during youth. I just let go of all outside world and forgive my own mind, washed off all thoughts and continued with my practice.
That's all? Yeah. Good. So basically, I mean, these ripples, these thoughts, something comes up, and as you have done properly, so you need to see how they are coming up, popping up, and then it's a matter of simply letting go. And so that again mind become very settled, fully settled, and the mind become fairly equanimous, calm, relaxed, tranquil, simple as that. So since you have pointed out about the ripples, let me take a little bit of the Buddha's teaching. So there's a very beautiful sutta in the Sutta Nipata in the Kuddaka Nikaya, the shorter discourses. It's called Tuataka Sutta. And in Tuataka Sutta, Buddha gives a very beautiful, profound simile. Majje atha samuddassa umino jayati tito hoti. Evan tito anejassa ussadam bhikkhu na karaya kuhinchi. Umi means in Pali the ripple, the wave. Umi is the wave, the ripple. Majje atha samuddassa. So that means in the deep ocean, in the middle of the deep ocean, Majje atha samuddassa umino jayati tito hoti. There are no ripples, it is fully settled, fully calm, very quiet, but extremely deep. Extremely deep. Evan tito anejassa. Similarly, the Arahant who is with completely still mind, Evan tito anejassa, and without any kind of a wavering, Evan tito anejassa, ussadam bhikkhuna kariya kuhincha. Ussadam means that ups and downs of the mind, ripples in the mind. So sometimes we become elated, sometimes we become really sorrow, drowned and depressed. So these are the ussada. These are the ups and downs in the mind. So the Arahant, the bhikkhu, should not allow these ussada, ups and downs. He also has to maintain that ripple-free, relaxed, tranquil state of mind. Now, if you consider the typical worldly mind, it's very much like a beach. It's very noisy, and the waves are coming, it's hitting the ground, hitting the, rocks, and making a lot of noise, and children are playing, and everything is there, really noisy, really cloudy. And as we go a little deeper, then still less noisy, but ripples are there. Little turbulence is there. But as you go further, and ultimately once you reach the depth of the ocean, middle of the ocean, nothing is there, completely still. You can't even feel much of the wavy nature. Complete calmness is there, but extremely deep. So that's the point Buddha pointing out. So as we are moving forward in our practice, so where are we going to move forward? To that depth. So depth is very silent, by the way. Very silent but really deep, no ripples. So the ripple-free mind is something that we need to looking forward. So the moment that the mind get uplifted or mind become elated, excited, so that means a ripple has happened. Now we need to observe it, recognize it slowly, letting it go, come back to the middle. Assume that's another option. Another situation is that we become fully, say, sorrowful, crying, or, little depressed. So that is another type of ripple, the negative ripple. So that is also not the place that we need to stay. Rather, you need to become again tranquil, be in the middle. So middle is very calm, very relaxed. Feels like kind of monotonous. Feels like boring, but that is the most profound state of mind. Yeah. So we are moving forward, but if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. So we are going through as a discussion. So if you have anything to contribute or if you want to ask a question, feel free to ask. Yeah.
Report number 3. This has 2 questions, Bhante. Number 1, is it more important to sit in a straight position or in a comfortable way? Number 2,
wait. Sorry. Yeah, I think, can't you join both? Straight and comfortable. So that's why sometimes people are using various, strategies. Okay, like Tusita is sitting. So we can maintain a chair or a desk where you are some comfortable, but still the posture is also straight. But sometimes that people are leaning onto the wall and put the legs also in front, very comfortable. But easily you fall asleep. So that's the problem. So it has to be fairly comfortable, yes, but also has to be somewhat straight. So that particularly remember that when Buddha talks about the mindfulness on breathing, he mentioned that the erect posture, because the air passage has to be very clear. So particularly when you are practicing anapanasati, mindfulness on breathing, so this air duct, the air passage has to be very clean, clear, so that you can feel the smooth, without any trouble, that smooth breathing happens. Very natural, smooth breathing happens. That is the only thing. But on the other hand, assume that you have gone through it and now you are capable of maintaining mindfulness, and you are able to observe various phenomena in the body, maybe even various feelings, then you can adjust the posture. You don't need to maintain a very strictly straight posture, but you can become more comfortable. And on the other thing is that, posture has many issues. Now say, for example, as you are continuing, and you come to a state where your head slowly bends and ultimately completely drops. And you are meditating like this. What happened after several years? You end up with neck pain. So therefore we need to be a little careful, we need to be a little concerned how we are maintaining the posture. So once you know that your neck has bent like this, so carefully, slowly straight it up, so that you are maintaining somewhat straight posture. Because we need to take care of the body also, no? Otherwise, what you need to do is kind of have a headrest, so that you are maintaining a good posture. At the same time, you are having some headrest. So, and your center of gravity is little bit towards the behind. So you may not fall to the front, but you may be falling the back. But you can't fall because you have a backrest and the headrest. Something like that. Particularly when you are going through Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana, and where even that where you reach that objectless kind of mindfulness. So there particularly you need to keep the body very relaxed, comfortable. You can't take care of the body at that moment. You are going through the mind. You are looking at the mind in a more subtle manner, so that the body has to be very comfortable, by the way. So that comfortable posture you need to recognize. So that may be where the body, maybe the back is fairly rested and also head also fairly rested. So you are not getting any disturbance to the body in the middle, like that. So therefore, kind of a straight posture is necessary. And again, it has to be a little bit energetic posture. Sometimes people are like completely bent like this. So easily fall asleep. That's a problem. So that's why, we need to find out a little bit energetic posture, particularly at the beginning, so that you feel a little energetic. Because the situation, what we go through, object particularly is a very neutral object. So easily you fall asleep, easily you feel boring. So at the beginning, but if you are giving certain energetic posture to the whole process, then it will maintain. So that's why that here we are doing a little bit of yoga practice tomorrow, and you can participate because this yoga practice also very helpful. So say for example you are doing yoga on yourself, and at the end of the yoga session, if you start the sitting practice, it will be more successful because your body become fairly energetic, fairly flexible, mobility is there. It is become really active, and then you close your eyes, very tranquil, very successful. So therefore, body posture really matters, particularly at the beginning, and even at later stages. Even at the Dhammanupassana, Chittanupassana level, you are going through the mind, but body should not disturb you. Because you are more concerned about the subtle things going through in the mind, so you have to maintain the body in a way more relaxed manner without much disturbance. So therefore, take care of the body, maintain the proper posture. It has to be an energetic posture without really, bend and, once we see that posture also we fall asleep. That is not good. Right.
Number 2, when I feel pain during meditation, should I accept it or change the position?
Yeah. It depends on you actually. So there are yogis who are practicing Vedananupassana. For them, feeling, particularly the painful feeling, is a kind of a field for your experiment. So it has given some raw material for you to practice. So a little bit of pain is there, true, but it's a good sign, a good opportunity for me to understand what's really going on in this painful feeling. So it depends on you. But on the other hand, suppose you are practicing mindfulness on breathing, and you are a beginner, and you got a pain. And in such situation, there are possibilities like, say, you pay a little bit of attention to the pain, and slowly you change the posture, mindfully, and then the pain has disappeared. Now you can return back to the breathing. Basically, we have changed the posture. And always do it after a little bit of time. So don't immediately do the changing of the posture. Once you feel that you need to change the posture, maintain it for a while. Because if you are, particularly you are young, then you can actually do a little bit of seasoning to this posture. And if you quickly adjust yourself, then you're never going to season yourself, never going to, expand this time period. Assume that you are there for 15 minutes and now you feel pain in your knee, you need to change the posture. Stay there for another 5 minutes is possible. And then change the posture, doesn't matter, but mindfully, paying attention to the pain. Or else what you can do is, yes, after 15 minutes you got the pain, you need to change the posture, be patient for another 5 minutes. While looking at the breath, change the posture in the background. Without drifting your attention to the pain, rather maintaining the attention continuously to the breath without shifting your attention. But you are through the background, you are changing the posture, by the way, without disturbing the process, the ongoing process. That's another method you can take. So likewise, it depends on you how you are going to continue, what is the level you are, and accordingly you can take the decision.
Report number 4. Dear Bhante, Please explain that how a meditator can develop qualities such as metta, mudita, karuna, upekha in anapanasati meditation, or these qualities need to be developed along with the meditation exercise in daily life. Thank you.
Yeah, along with anapanasati, we developing metta, mudita, karuna, upekha is not the accepted way. Rather, what we do is, before we starting anapanasati, you can do a little bit of metta, if necessary. You know that the guardian meditation. Guardian, right? Guardian meditation. So the Satchaturārakka Bhavana. So there are 4 meditations explained: Metta, Marnanusati, Asubha and Buddhanusati. So these are the 4 guardian meditations. So you can practice one of them if necessary, by the way. Now assume that you are in a bad mood and you had a little bit of an argument, your mind is a little bit of restless and a little bit of angry. In such case, don't jump immediately to the anapanasati. You can do a little bit of metta. True. Then you become again happy, quiet and settled. Then you can start practicing anapanasati. But after practicing anapanasati, doing again metta, you are going the wrong direction. Because anapanasati takes you calms down the mind and it frees the mind from any thinking. Thinking is something that we need to slowly abandon so that we are maintaining a very quiet mind. So anapanasati is such a meditation allowing us to approach that stage. And once you approach that, then if you do again metta, then you are going the opposite direction. So, but before anapanasati, yes, you can practice a little bit of metta, and then anapanasati will further quieten the mind, focus the mind, and you can continue like that. That's one thing. And on the other hand, if you are really interested on metta, mudita, karuna, upekha, you can separately practice those 4 sublime qualities separately, as separate practices. Suppose that you are interested in metta meditation and you want to attain jhana using metta meditation, true, possible. Then that becomes your main object, main purpose, and you are practicing that as the main kamatahan. So that is separate path. And there similarly you can practice mudita, you can practice karuna, you can practice upekha, but typically immediately jump to them is not suitable. Like say mudita, karuna, upekha, immediately jump into that is also not suitable. But metta is your entry point. You can start with metta. Then slowly, if you want, you can get into mudita. That is possible. But as separate meditations. But if you want to go through anapanasati, give prominence to anapanasati. Suppose that today you are quite happy, everything happens smoothly, no arguments, everyone is quite happy, you are in a really happy mood, and you want to sit now, straight away practice anapanasati. No problem at all. Because that is your main object. It will take you to a very higher level, either even in samatha or even in vipassana. And therefore give more prominence to that. Okay.
Report number 5. Most Venerable Bhante, I am fairly new to the mindful meditation. Even though I started meditation at Kalalgoda retreat several months ago, I couldn't carry out continuously due to my personal commitments. But I always give priority in attending the retreat, and I find guided sitting meditation session is very much helpful for me to improve my mindful meditation. Today my report is not on my experiences on meditation, but rather a humble request related to meditation. I have heard that it is better to practice Chaturārakka Bhavana for beginners to settle down the mind. If it is so, could you please incorporate some guided meditation sessions on 4 Chaturārakka Bhavana for the benefits of the beginners? Theruvan Saranai.
Can. No, typically the point is that that's what I want to highlight. So it depends on your attitude, your mood in a way. Suppose then in a particular mood, or particular day, you are in a little angry mood. And that case, no need to practice all 4, by the way. Maybe metta is enough, or maybe buddhanusati is enough, so that you again become quite happy and all that turbulence in the mind disappear, and you again become really happy, comfortable. Now you can practice Anapanasati. That is one case. Suppose another day you are in a little lustful mood. Many lustful thoughts are there, and a lot of images are there, and you are being little excited about somewhat lustful situation. That all, in such case, immediately practicing Anapanasati won't helpful. So in such case, you can, if you are familiar, you can practice with Asubha Bhavana. Recognizing 32 parts of the body and recognizing their loathsomeness, so that whatever the lustful thoughts are abandoned, you again become quite neutral. Again happy, again neutral. So that once you reach there, you need to stop Asubha Bhavana also. Don't continue too much. It will take you to the other side. So come to the middle. Once your mind come to the middle, you stop Asubha Bhavana, then you start Anapanasati. That's another thing. Suppose you are in a little, not much energetic, and you don't feel like practicing. You don't have much energy. You don't feel urgency in the meditation. You don't feel it is required. No energy. Such case, Marananusati is a good antidote. You can recognize how soon I can die. My neighbor also passed away last month. My father, my mother, my sister, or whoever passed away so and so. I didn't expect them to pass away. You can start like that if you want. Say, giving some, some indications. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. My friend passed away on so and so. I didn't expect. Almost like same age. Then you feel, oh, it can happen to me. Then you send yourself also. Death can happen at any moment. I mean, these people also passed away. These, elegant people have passed away. Even the Buddha has passed away. Arahant has passed away. Kings have passed away. Presidents have passed away. Prime ministers have passed away. Then I am just nothing, no one. Definitely this body will pass away. So thinking like that gives you some urgency. I should not waste time. I should not waste the opportunity. I should make use of the opportunity. I should meditate. I should practice. So you feel that, the urgency. You feel that requirement. It's a must to practice. So that is something which is very necessary, because sometimes what happens is when we are doing really well, or when we are engaged with something and there are various other obligations, so we are spending our time totally distracted, immersed in those activities. We don't know much about what's really going on in ourselves. Just recently I saw a little news, yesterday actually. I just go through the headlines. So yesterday one headline was, this is a true incident. One woman, I think 41 years or something, I can't exactly remember the age. She was working in the Katunayaka, in the airport, and she came back after attending the the work shift. She went through the, can't remember where it happened. This Piliyandala. It happened in Piliyandala. She get down from the bus, and immediately a car came. One guy came out, took a knife, stabbed her, killed. Simple as that. Did she ever expect something happen like that? So she is coming after the work. Simply get down from the bus. The office bus. Simply get down. And maybe she crossed the road or simply walking towards her home. Immediately a car came. The guy get down from the car and used a knife and killed. Simple as that. Can you imagine? Maybe someone, same thing. Maybe you get down and another vehicle come and trash you. We are in a very fleeting world, completely vulnerable. We don't know. We never know when we are going to die. But we are wasting time, sometimes. Wasting time. We think that we have enough time. I'm just 50, I'm just 60. Let happen. I have more time. Who knows? So our good friend is there, that, what's her name? Devika, no? Devika. So she's a very good person who attached to Nissarana and practicing, and she got a cancer, passed away. Many such incidents are there we didn't expect. We don't know what is lined up in our life. So therefore, don't waste the opportunity. So that is where we need to arouse some urgency in ourselves, not wasting time. So likewise, these guardian meditations are quite useful, and depending on the mood actually where we are. You don't need to practice all four. Time to time, depending on the mood, you can select what is necessary. And accordingly you can practice, as I mentioned. Then you can shift to the main meditation object, primary object. Maybe Anapanasati, maybe rising and falling, maybe the postures, or elements meditation. Elements meditation immediately you can't come, but slowly after Anapanasati you can practice elements meditation. Maybe mindfulness on the feelings. All those are possible. So likewise, so as you are continuing, the need of guardian meditation become less, because you are now somewhat confident about your practice. But at the beginning, as you said, guardian meditations are quite useful. So if you have a lot of faith, practicing Buddhanusati will uplift you, and your mind become very happy and almost like, very good uplifted qualities are there, and easily you can practice Anapanasati, but breath can be very subtle. Because Buddhanusati makes you very calm, comfortable, tranquil, so that breath also can become very subtle. So likewise, those guardian meditations are useful, particularly at the beginning. Depending on the mood, you can make use of them. I'll try to use one of them in the maybe tomorrow's guided sitting, so that we are practicing them as well. Yeah.
Report number 6, Garu Swamin Wahansa. Can you please explain the difference in Vidarshana, Samatha and Vipassana Bhavana? Theruvan Saranai.
Vidarshana, same thing.
Samatha and Vipassana.
Yeah. Vipassana, Vidarshana, same. Vidarshana is the Sinhala term or the Sanskrit term. Vipassana is the Pali term. And we can simply say Samatha and Vipassana. So Samatha, the tranquility meditation, where it tries to concentrate the mind, very much like focusing your attention. Because our mind is scattered. Various objects are there. At one moment to a sight, another moment to a sound, another moment to a thought, another moment again to a sound, again sight, again thought, again taste, again touch, again thought, again sight. Fully distracted, completely scattered mind, jumping from one thing to another thing. So such a mind, with such a mind you can't practice Vipassana. So you basically have to have some kind of a restrainment, kind of a focus, kind of a collectedness of the mind. So that is where the Samatha meditation, tranquility meditation is useful. You can simply even practice walking meditation, simply practice Anapanasati, rising and falling, even though they are capable of taking you to deep Vipassana, but at the beginning they are very much like Samatha practices. Because you are collecting your mind. Your mind, even though you are walking, your mind go and drifted, distracted. Once you know it, you take it back and establish attention in the foot, say the touching sensation. Again get distracted, again establish mindfulness. Again distracted, again bring it back. Again distracted, again bring it back. Like a battle. Very, very, this is the only way. It's like a battle. You are getting distracted, again bringing back. Again distracted, again bringing back. Ultimately, slowly, mind starts settling. Now you can say, from this end to the other end, you can continuously maintain mindfulness. Or you can simply say, for 50 breaths, I can continuously maintain mindfulness. Maybe after another week, you can simply say, for 100 breaths, I can continuously maintain mindfulness. Now, almost you are fairly tranquil. Fairly, Samatha meditation has to some extent developed, and your mind has restrained to some extent, tamed to some extent, and collected to some extent. So that is necessary. So various Samatha meditations are there. So Anapanasati actually is capable of taking you to the both sides, Samatha and Vipassana both. But at the beginning, mostly it is Samatha. Calming down, relaxing or tranquilizing, focusing attention. Rising and falling also similar, walking also similar. At the beginning, it's very much like Samatha practices because it is settling the mind, calming down the mind, focusing attention. On the other hand, say if you practice Buddhanusati, Metta, all that are Samatha meditations. Say you are various such kind of meditations are there, what we call as Anusati meditations, Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati, Chaganusati, Upasamanusati, many such recollections are there. All are Samatha meditations, allowing the mind to get engaged with something wholesome and so that it is not getting distracted, rather fairly you are maintaining your attention on a selected object. Even 32 parts you can do in a way that it develops Samatha. One part, another part, like that you are navigating through the bodily parts. Ultimately your attention is confined to the body without getting distracted. Again we can say to some extent it is Samatha, but has some Vipassana aspect as well. So that is Samatha part. And the Vipassana on the other hand is where you are investigating various phenomena. That is again not the mind-made phenomena, rather we can say true phenomena. It is not the say imaginary phenomena that we are trying to investigate, rather we are investigating the true phenomena or real phenomena. Say as we are walking, you can recognize the touch sensation. It's kind of something tangible, we can say. Say the feelings. Say you really feel they are. You don't need a language to know a feeling. You don't need a language to recognize the hardness. You don't need a language to recognize heaviness. You can directly know them, directly experience it. Direct experience is there. So those are the ones actually we are using for Vipassana meditation. In order to do that, you need to have mindfulness. In order to do that, you need to have focused attention. And maintaining that attention for a considerable period of time onto that phenomena. So that's why we need to prepare our mind to do that. That's why the Samatha meditation is little necessary at the beginning, so that you are able to maintain your attention for a considerable period of time onto the selected phenomena without being distracted. You are able to maintain your attention. And then you can recognize what's really going on there. You are now examining that phenomena. You are investigating that phenomena. So that helps you to have the thorough understanding about the true nature of that phenomena. So that is the beginning of, we can say, the Vipassana path. And we'll discuss that further also. And maybe actually today Dhamma sermon also fairly related to all these. And we'll cover that in the Dhamma sermon as well.
Last report number 7. Bhante, through life's experience, I have come to realize that many Sri Lankans lie for no reason or sometimes tell harmless lies.
Sorry, can you... Lies for no reason.
No reason and sometimes harmless lies. If one observes Pansil...
Sometimes what?
Sometimes harmless lies.
Harmless lies.
If one observes Pansil and tells such lies, would it be breaking one of the 5 precepts which some laymen normally observe? Thank you.
It depends on the intention, by the way. Are you intentionally want to deceive another person? Or is it an obvious thing that what you are telling? Say, for example... how to say, just to make a joke, quite obvious thing. Say you are making a joke, the other person become quite happy, but it's a joke, by the way. But he is not being, completely deceived. Then we can't say it's really, the intention in you is simply to make a joke, not to completely deceive the other person, cheat the other person. But if your intention is to completely cheat the other person, purposely you are lying, and so that the other person believed that totally, and he accepted that as the truth, and he is completely deceived, then you are really lying. So therefore, this, if you consider the Musavada Sikkhapada, there are few factors to be fulfilled in order that Musavada Sikkhapada to break. One thing is the intention. So you have to have the intention to, I want to cheat this person. I want to lie. So that intention is a must. Then you are making a statement. Okay, this is so and so. You do that statement. It could be through the words, it could be through the letters, whatever the way, using even without being silent. Simply being silent, you can make the other person deceived. So whatever the ways, you have to have some kind of a strategy how you are lying the other person, and then the other person recognizes you, and he completely misunderstands this as the truth. Completely, that is the line. And that is where you commit that transgression to that precept. But on the other hand, if you simply want to make a joke, that is quite obvious. Other person knows, he's just a joke. So simply we say, okay, I saw a white color crow coming into Kalalgoda. So everybody know, crows are not going to be white color. They are black. He's making a joke. That's obvious. So therefore, we don't need to take so serious, thinking that, even a slightest thing, he made a little mistake. Why he lied that? Then we are going to a little extreme. But on the other hand, we have to be concerned, by the way, how we are managing our words. So purposely don't try to cheat. Purposely don't try to lie another person by telling a lie, so that other person is completely misled because of your wrong words. Yeah. So that's all actually the written questions we have got. If you have any other question, please, we have 15 more minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for parents. Sometimes to calm them down, you might say the opposite
Children.
of, no, our parents.
You,
now the
to
roles
calm
have
down
reversed.
your parents. Okay.
Roles have kind
So
of
if you
reversed
don't
now.
get this medicine, you become, something like that?
Well, sometimes they'll ask, how are you, for example, very simple. And say, you're fine, but things are not fine.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, I also can agree, because sometimes, my sister is also close by. She calls and me asking, how are you doing? I'm fine. Because it's unnecessary burden for her. No, if I am going through some sickness, I'm just taking care of that. Why should I give all the trouble to her to think on that? So I feel that's why, that is where the intention. That's why I really have an intention to mislead the other person, some malicious way. So that intention really matters. So the intention is there to keep the other person very comfortable, calm, relaxed. I feel it's something to consider as well, rather than because sometimes truth is very very sharp. So that's why Buddha, when Buddha is quite careful. Buddha says, even though it is the truth, you need to know the time. You need to know the time when you are telling it, even though it is truth. Know the exact time, the proper time, and the way that how you are telling it, with the proper compassionate intention, not to the blackguard the other person, just to kind of in a proper compassionate way that you have to tell the truth. And the other person also has to be in a good mood. He's not in a bad mood. Assume that he's in a really bad mood and you also giving the really truth, but another thing that he become further angry. That's not the suitable time. So likewise, even the truth, we have to be a little careful what's the proper time to tell it. Because people are in moods. Everybody sometimes, in a good mood, bad mood. So you have to be a little sensible. How the person is in a good mood? Is it in a sensible way? He's happy. He or she is approachable right now, not in a busy something engaged, or rather now he's in a very good mood. Okay, can I have a little chat with you? She's accompanying and she's accepting. Yes, why not? Let's have a chat. Have you seen that this thing has happened? Like that you can, diplomatically approach it. So therefore intention really matters. Buddha kept it as the first one of the important characteristic. And as you said, even to the parents, even to the children, says that your child is doing bad. Now you want to tame him. You want to put him to the correct track. Probably a little bit of lying. But what is the intention? Isn't it? I mean, do you really want to cheat your child or you want to really correct your child? Isn't it? So therefore, I feel the intention is the important thing. So people sometimes really want to intentionally cheat the other person, then you are committing it. Otherwise, we have become more rigid into this case. And we can't even make a joke. But I don't know, I am taking it too loose, by the way. And one important characteristic of the Buddha is what? As not only as the Buddha, as the Bodhisattva, he has never lied. Even at most dangerous situations. There are situations in certain Jataka stories, he being caught while he is plucking, king's mangoes. He being caught. And he accepted this. He simply said, yes, I did it. And there are other situations like he went through some sexual misconduct with the queen. And caught. And king actually didn't believe it. But he said, yes, I did it. Simple as that. So lying. Now in such cases, what do you think? Now there are other situations actually we need to understand, are we really cheating the other person or are we really helping the other person? I can remember that one interesting thing. One of this French Les Miserables, or I can't remember. One of the drama or movie, I don't know. That one sister, nun, she was really famous for not lying. And this thief actually come on that way, and he get in, and all of a sudden get into that nun's place. Remember that story? I think Les Miserables. Remember? Les Miserables, no? Yeah, so that fellow was being followed by the police, and he ultimately went to that nun's place, and he hidden there. And now the police is coming to catch him. So this fellow is completely innocent. It's a really beggar-like thing. He's simply stolen some little bit of bread. And this nun is very famous for not lying. Famous for not lying. And now the police coming and asking, have you seen this fellow? No. Now she's the one accommodating that thief now, protecting her, famous for not lying. And when the police is inquiring from her, she's telling no. What do you think? Is she committing So these are the situations actually we come to a kind of a situation, how a person's life and how we commit transgression. On such cases actually we need to measure where we need to give the prominence. There are situations like that, say if you tell the truth, another person being killed. So if you say a lie, his life may be protected. So what are we going to do? Are we simply bold-heartedly tell the truth? So we have no compassion about the other person, he being killed? Or are we simply being quiet or lie? Very difficult to answer actually. Very difficult to answer. I mean, we can't give an exact bold answer on such cases. We have to measure many scenarios and accordingly have to come to a solution. So therefore, I mean, very difficult situations are there. Now the thing is, lying, if you consider the typical transgressional level, is where you become a person and you have another person in front of you and you have an intention to lie, to cheat another person, and you create something and then you tell it, other person being cheated. So the kind of ignorance is there are persons are there. I am a person, he is a person, and I am making a lie and intention is there, all that is there. So underneath is raga dosa moha. Underneath what we have is lust, hatred and delusion. But when one is becoming more and more detached and all that is given up, so he may be even understanding that there is no person as such, but conventionally there is a person, something like that. So intentions can't arouse in one's mind to even to protect oneself. So there are such situations like Adimutta Samanera. It's a very interesting story. Adimutta Samanera is an arahant, and while he is going through the forest, he being caught by the bandits. And now they are going to take him to the, to kill. And he simply says, I'm just an innocent monk. Can you let me go? I have nothing, basically. You have nothing. I mean, by killing me, basically you gain nothing. Other people also will understand, I mean, this path is a really dangerous path. Even a monk can't go through it, who has nothing basically to rob. So there are bandits there. So no one will come. Somehow these people, robbers, the bandits are being convinced, and they make a promise that he will never tell that there are robbers in this path. Now they release him. Now he is going through. Now his mother, sister, brother, someone is also coming on the same path. So Adimutta Samanera is simply going through without telling, don't go on the same path. Probably you remember. Now the robbers actually catch this mother and the sister and all. And while they are catching them and going through this torturing, and they are really telling, okay, see this how to say, what a bad person this Adimutta is. Now, even though he he didn't even tell us. Then the robbers understood, okay, he has maintained that truth. He maintained that promise. Even to his own parents, he hadn't mentioned that there are these people. Because he made a commitment. Something like that. So those robbers, by the way, good people. So they gave marks to that quality and they released the parents as well. Something like that are there. Who knows? Yes, please, yeah.
Bhante, this question is for the other side. Now, if I am being cheated, according to the mindfulness, now we are practicing the mindfulness, according to the Vipassana practice,
right.
How do we react to that? Like we get angry and, and our thoughts are coming, quite heavily, and how do we,
Right. So that's a good question, actually. So once you being cheated, once you being lied, so basically then you have to forgive. Because you understood you are being lied. So why are we maintaining that kind of anger? Why are you maintaining that kind of that's you are the one being the torturing yourself. Because I understood that yes, I am being lied, but I don't need to further torture myself by harboring, say, angry thoughts in myself. So that's another thing. So I am being already cheated, I am being already lied, and further I am harboring some, angry thoughts also, then doubled. harm is doubled like. So immediately you better give it up. Once you understood, okay, I am being lied, yes, I understood that. So the karma is his. Whatever happened that is his karma. That's all. I don't need to correct it in the sense, I don't need to go after it and, if there is really an opportunity, you can indicate, yes, I understood that you have lied. I know that. You can indicate that in a proper way. But even there is no such chance, you better forget it. Because maintaining a pure mind is the ultimate thing. So no point of harboring bad thoughts, no point of harboring any anger or revengeful thoughts, because ultimately we are the ones harming ourselves. So assume that we've been cheated by money, for example. Say another seller or someone who just a cheap thing, he sold it up for a large price. Fine, cheated. Just understanding that and forget it. Because no point going after, then arguing and get into all that trouble. Useless. Not worth. If it happened to us, I think it's quite easy. Because if we are the ones cheating, then we have to be very concerned. Really, we have to be very concerned. But we being cheated, that of course can happen. Because that's, the majority are like that. They want to cheat, they want to lie. So that's the majority. So, we as people who are trying to adhere to precepts, respecting the precepts, we can be cheated, of course. That doesn't mean that we being respecting these things does not mean that we will never be cheated. We can be cheated. So in such case, we need to forget, we need to forgive. Some these people are like this. This is the human nature. This is the worldly nature. I've been cheated, fine, but I have, say, a large heart to forgive. Something like that would be more beneficial to ourselves. So once you forgive, you are recovered. You are healed. The more you are harboring the same, the angry thought and how dare he did that, something like that, you are harming yourself a lot. Forgiving is the best thing. Yeah. No, that's another thing. You can't allow that, keep on doing that. Because then this next time when they are trying to do the same thing, you can stop it. Then you have to sternly say, last time also you did that, I am not a stupid person like that. I understood what you are going through. That's it. It's not that we being, a completely timid kind of people. It is not that we are, become completely timid so then fools, others can take advantage. No, not necessary. We have to be intelligent in that case. But can be cheated, forgive it, fine. But the next time also they are trying to attempt, not necessary for us to again go through it, because we understand this fellow is like this, again he is trying to do the same thing. No point of, if it is a real thing, we can simply say no. Because both parties are being cheated, cheated in the sense, both parties are going to be harmed. He himself is harming himself. By cheating us, he is also committing something bad. The large part of harm is his. If the other party, the cheating party. So they are the ones going to have the strong consequences. For us, it may be few thousand rupees, maybe just the minor thing. But the other party who is really cheated, they have to bear the whole thing. So in such case, we are having some sympathy, little bit of compassion. We are telling it, see, this is the situation. Last time you also did it. Now you are trying to do the same thing. I'm not a fool. This is the case. We have to have guts to tell that. Doing Vipassana does not mean that we have to be like that. Okay, 2 p.m., sharp 1 hour. If there are no more questions, then please, there's one question.
With meditation, we want to calm the mind a little bit, but in daily life, we have to make decisions and also think about things. Or how do you make decisions without thinking of it.
Definitely, yeah.
Or
you have to think.
Or isn't it necessary?
So we are not prohibiting thinking. So we are not prohibiting thinking. By the way, what we are trying to do is, when thinking is not necessary, can you keep the mind without thinking? Assume that there is a situation where you have nothing to think. You have to make no decisions right now. Where you are you able to maintain a completely quiet mind, a silent mind? So that is the case what we are trying to do. So you are making a very good point. So are we able to do the thinking under our control? Are we able to stop thinking so that the thinking as a skill we are making use of? Not that the thinking is driving us. We've been driven by thinking, overthinking, proliferation. We are not going to that level. Rather, if it is necessary to think, if it is necessary to analyze, if it is necessary to consider some incidents, yes, I am ready. I can do it. But when it is not necessary, I am capable of calming down the mind, relaxing the mind, keeping the mind very quiet. So that is the skill we need to have. So therefore, it is not that we have to hate thinking. We should never think. Then we are going to an extreme. Thinking is a very good skill. So that skill has to be within our control. Not that the thinking become the master and I become a slave. Rather, thinking become a skill and I am the master. So when necessary, I can think. When not necessary, I don't want to think. Like you are eating something. Say when you are hungry, you can eat. When you are not hungry, you don't need to eat. Simple like that. So think. Tongue and the thing are similar. Say when you are eating something, you can taste it. You can feel the taste. But when you are not eating, you don't feel any taste, right? Similarly, when it is necessary, you can think. So that mind is going through some thinking within your supervision. And once that is done, you stop thinking. Nothing's there.
Okay, now I understood.
Yeah. You can read one interesting sutta if you are familiar with sutta teachings. Vitakka Santhana Sutta. Vitakka Santhana Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, where Buddha mentioned about this fact. So the person who is capable of doing the thinking within his control. When it is necessary, he can think. When it is not necessary, he don't want to think. Maintain the mind in complete silence.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll wind up the session and we'll have the Dhamma sermon at 3:45 today. Because I have something to do, go somewhere. So we'll have the Dhamma sermon at 3:45. Okay. Thero Sannai.